what the UK is doing to open up to expand our diplomatic presence in the Pacific. And I remind you that we're opening 6. The Union flag is going up in 6 high commissions in Port Vila, in Vanuatu, in Apia, in Samoa, in Nuku'alofa and Tonga. We talked about climate change and the shared ambition we have to have a fantastic COP26 summit in November to reduce global emissions, the Clean Tech Partnership that we're working on. We talked about, I think we talked about the Rugby World Cup. We talked about also the Rugby League World Cup and all sorts of things. But of course, we came to a conclusion of a long-running negotiation on a free trade agreement between the UK and Australia. And even before we began these negotiations, you will recollect that the volume of trade, the exports between our countries have been quite extraordinary. We already sell cars, we sell whiskey, I'm proud to say, to Australia. We sell boomerangs to Australia of the non-returnable variety. And now, thanks to this deal, we hope that there will be even more trade between the UK and Australia. And the broad outlines of the deal, as you can imagine, is that you give us Tim Tams, we give you penguins, you give us Vegemite, we give you Marmite, we give you Burberry Macintoshes, and you give us R.M. Williams Japaras. And the idea is that we'll be able to do even more because we're taking tariffs off. So for Northern Ireland, Northern Irish machine tools, this will be good news. It will be good news for British car manufacturers. It will be good news for British services, for British financial services, and it will be good news for, I hope, for agricultural sector on both sides. And here we've had to negotiate very hard. And I want everybody to understand that this is a sensitive sector for both sides, and we've got a deal that runs over 15 years and contains the strongest possible provisions for animal welfare. But I think it is a good deal. It is a good deal. And it's one that I think will benefit British farmers and British consumers as well. It will also, by the way, it will mean that it will make it easier for British people, for young people to go and work in Australia without, I think, having the traditional compulsion of having to go and work on a farm for 80 days, which used to be the rule. And I think they want. I at one point wanted to extend it to 90 days. That turned out to be the wrong approach to the negotiations. Anyway, that we've got rid of that. We've got rid of that. Young people, any people can go work much more easily in Australia, both ways. There'll be free exchange of British rent-a-poms, and indeed Australian campaign managers will be able to come more easily to work in this country. And I think it's but more importantly than all of that, this is the first freestanding free trade deal that the UK has done since Brexit, and it's also therefore a prelude to further deals, and it's the way in to the comprehensive and progressive Trans-Pacific Partnership, the CPTPP. And Liz Truss, our wonderful Trade Secretary, has been working on that for a very long time. And I just want to conclude by thanking Liz and her teams and all your teams, and Mr. Tian as well, for everything that you have done. I think congratulate negotiators on both sides on what I think is a good deal for Britain and a good deal for Australia. So thank you very much, Scott. Great to see you and over to you.
Well, thank you, Boris. Thank you very much for the invitation to be here today. And can I congratulate you on the G7 Plus, or D11, as we sometimes call it, and for your leadership at that summit, which really brought together the leaders of the world's biggest advanced economies and liberal democracies. And the esprit de corps that you're able to establish right across the leadership group, and for us to get around the fundamental principles of what we believe in as liberal democracies. I want to commend you for that, and we were very pleased to be part of that, those very important set of discussions that we had in Carvers Bay. In addition to that, I'd simply note the framework for the trade agreement that we've been able to agree here is within the foundation, I'd say, of this broader partnership that Australia and the United Kingdom enjoy. This is a foundational partnership for Australia, as it is for the UK. And everything else we do stems from that relationship. Our cooperation on defence, on strategic issues, our cooperation on science and research, and in dealing with technology challenges to combat climate change, and indeed the economic relationship. Our economies are stronger by these agreements. This is the most comprehensive and ambitious agreement that Australia has concluded. The only one which comes into close connection with that is the arrangement we have with New Zealand under the closer economic relationship arrangements we have there. Movement of people, movement of goods, movement of services. This is what underpins the strength of advanced economies and liberal democracies. And of course there are sensitive areas. And this being the first of the agreements the United Kingdom has put in place and is putting in place, does then open the pathway to entry into the CPTPP from Australia's perspective. And we will be a champion for that, because we want to see the UK making the CPTPP even stronger than it is now. It's an outstanding arrangement. It's the most modern multilateral trade agreement in the world today. And to have the United Kingdom as part of that strengthens it. And that's why we were so keen to come to this arrangement today. The Prime Minister has mentioned the many issues that we've discussed. One other I'd add to that list was mental health, and particularly mental health of young people. In Australia, we have an extraordinary program that supports young people with mental health, and we're very keen to work with the UK government to share that experience, working together on dealing with large multinational media platforms as well. That was a topic of keen discussion, and the work that Australia's been doing there. And of course the Clean Energy Technology Partnership, which we're in the process of finalising as well. Across, whether it's on beef and sugar and sheep meat for Australia, which is very important. We appreciate the very constructive discussions we've had and negotiations to complete what is the right deal. I said we would wait for the right deal, Boris, and I think we've got the right deal between UK and Australia. And that just lays the foundation further for the bigger partnership we have on everything to defence, to climate change, and to deal with the many other big global challenges that liberal democracies face together. And always, UK and Australia will face those together.